Welcome back to the workshop. It's fantastic to have you here. I think it's about time we get stuck in to another big build, and that is going to be a shamsher, which is a type of scimitar. Big thank you to NordVPN for sponsoring this episode. Go to nordvpn.com/forge, use code FORGE at checkout, where you'll get a huge discount off a 2-year plan and a bonus gift of anywhere from 1 to 4 additional months. I quite like the look of this one from the Royal Armoury in Stockholm, Sweden. So we've made up a little bit of a scale drawing, which means there's no time like the present to start forging. We've restacked the material, it's time for another welding heat. You see, I've started wearing one of these. I found out I didn't like hot steel and sparks on my face. Here we go! We're now going to re-square it, so I'm going to forge on the diagonals and send the pattern 45 degrees. We've got a square bar of that Damascus forged out. We're going to do some more cutting and restacking and talk about the patterning in a little while, but for now, let's talk a little bit more about the shamsher. It took its final shape in the 16th century with influence from a few different areas in the globe and a Mongol invasion in the 13th century. The shamsher is generally considered a Persian or Iranian sword, but much like how Viking swords often had the blades made in one place and then they'd be shipped off somewhere else to finally be hilted or handled, it's understood that a lot of that might have been happening with historic shamshers, with the blade itself being made in India or the Ottoman Empire, and then it finally being hilted and assembled together in Iran. You can see the blade has a ridiculous curve on it, with very little taper in this direction. Would have been used for slashing as well as stabbing. It's going to give us all sorts of difficulties in quenching and tempering. It's going to be a nightmare. You'll note I haven't made a sword since being back in the UK, and that's because I kind of thought to myself, oh, I'll leave the sword making back to when I'm in Montana, and then we'll do smaller things here, because I don't have the type of heat treating equipment here that would be best suited to making a sword. We've got a beautiful huge kiln in Montana. Anyway, I thought I'd be back in the States by February or March. Unfortunately, the borders are still shut, so I'm kind of stuck here for a while. And so much like we used to have to do when I had no heat treating equipment whatsoever, we'll have to get this blade quenched out of a forge heat. That's going to prove really difficult, especially with this ridiculous blade, because that curve makes it take up a monstrous amount of space. What is really cool about this project is we're going to be making it out of modern Damascus steel, which is simply 2 different alloys of steel, forge welded together for the aesthetic value of the beautiful layering and patterning. But it's on swords like this where Damascus steel formed from Wootz steel that caused beautiful watering in the blade would have first started appearing. So it's quite fitting that we're working hard to create a really cool pattern on the piece that we're making today, and that'll hopefully pay homage to the craftsmen of old who were making these swords. Anyway, thank you Wikipedia for making me sound smarter than I am. Let's get back to where I belong, which is a very dirty and smelly grinding room. So while the steel's been cooling down, ready for us to get back over to the mill and do some cutting to make some mosaic, I've been working on the guard design. We want this project to be grand. It wants to be fabulous. It wants to be one damn good looking sword with ornamentation, inlay, gems, gold. old. It's been a long time since we've made a 27-part series. Through this project, we'll have to unsheath our figurative shamshir to cut away any negativity about how long this project is taking. But that's okay, because I know there is a force of you behind me who have asked and asked and asked that we make a big, beautiful project again, and this is gonna be it. So as you can see, we took to the iPad in Procreate. I used the symmetry tool and I've started sketching based off the original guard what is one direction for how we can go. And how it's looking right now is we have a little ball on the end, nice little finial there. We octagonalize the guard as we come up here, and then all of this is going to be gold inlay border, some gemstones, some beautiful ornamentation, and it'll hopefully look great. This is still a work in progress, but it's going to give us some sort of a vision for where we can go with the guard. You've remembered in the past we've made some beautiful guards. Think of the Viking sword. Well, this is going to be a good throwback to that project. 3 years ago we did that thing. Anyway, our steel is cold, so now we're going to get back to some milling, grinding, and cutting of our bar to take our lengthwise pattern and expose it to the world. Shiny! So with that out of the mill, we're about to go to the store and start cutting it up into pieces, but I want to first have a look at what the pattern actually looks like. Step one is we made these crushed C's. We then stacked up this interesting setup, re-squared it, and then stacked it up into 6. That looks pretty frickin' cool. So our pattern has been flipped up. We're getting ready to tack weld this all together with the TIG welder. But though I'm no mathematician, I don't believe we've got enough material for an entire shamshir. We started out with a lot of steel. We don't have quite so much left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do some volume calculations to work out exactly how much we need, account for the future wastage. Either this is enough material or we're going to have to add some more onto this pattern. Well, apparently I have twice as much steel as is required for the finished article. But that then begs the question, is twice as much material enough margin for error? Can I actually forge it close enough? So I've given it some thought over lunch, and what I've decided is I'm going to take a bit of mild steel and I'm going to do a test run. We've got to see if I can forge it close enough that twice the material is enough. I know it sounds a little bit ludicrous. You'd say, hey, Alec, twice the material? What are you talking about? Why would you have any sort of concern that twice the material wouldn't be enough? The end result of a sword like this is it's a really fine, delicate blade, like 3 millimeters thick as it's starting to get out towards the tip. Forging something that thin is difficult. So we currently have 187,000 cubic millimeters. We need 87,000 cubic millimeters in the final piece. Well, I'm gonna cut off 150,000 cubic millimeters of this mild steel, and if this looks good enough, we can leave our Damascus pattern as intended. We're gonna be close, but I think we will make it. This could be a mistake. I could regret this decision. Still don't have the final length here. This is just a practice piece. I feel like I can take a gamble though. We can use the pattern we designed and hoped for, and hopefully squeeze, literally, this sword out of that billet of steel. Let's TIG weld it up and get forge welding. Well, have a look at this. We've got this thing forged mightily close. Oh, look at some of that pattern sexiness poking through. That's a little raunchy for a YouTube video. Look at those curves, baby! Usually our projects don't seem to go quite so well, so make sure that you subscribe and stay tuned to see what problems develop in this challenge. Thank you all for watching. Let's thank our sponsor. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful dog named Yogo, and I had some really sensitive information to share, as well as an important question to ask. So I logged onto my internet browser and had my message set sail across the ocean towards her. Oh, but no! What's happened? The message has been intercepted by a deadly Malinois. But then I found out about NordVPN and the encryption that they could provide, where my data would become immune to compromise from hackers, and Yogo and I are now free to communicate securely with no fear of compromise. NordVPN is a virtual private network with over 5,400 servers all around the world, acting as an intermediary between you and the websites you browse to make sure that neither criminals, your internet service providers, or a dodgy government can spy on what it is that you're browsing, all thanks to Nord's military-grade encryption. Furthermore, Nord opens you up to a truly worldwide internet because on their handy-dandy app for iOS, Android, Mac, and PC, you can make the websites you browse think you're browsing from anywhere in the world. This is great for accessing content on streaming sites, for example, that's not available in your country, but it's also great for accessing an internet that's just simply not allowed. NordVPN bypasses the Great China Firewall. One account is good for 6 devices, so it's good for you and the whole family. There's 24/7 customer support and a 30-day money-back guarantee. So please go to nordvpn.com/forge, use code FORGE at checkout, and get yourself a huge discount off a 2-year plan, as well as a bonus gift of an additional 1 to 4 months for free. Thank you, Nord, for sponsoring this. Thank you guys for watching. See you soon. Bye-bye.